A nationally known alternative learning program at Tigard High School celebrated 50 years of success with a reunion at the school last Thursday night. Named CE2, the acronym stands for Community Experience for Career Education. The CE2 learning model centers on students discovering the realities of careers. They select hands-on internships with local employers willing to share how academic and social skills are vital to job success. CE2 graduates receive the same high school diplomas as their peers and go on to colleges, apprenticeships, and other options. Many Tigard CE2 graduates give the program credit for their immediate success in dozens of blue-collar jobs and white-collar careers alike, including owning their own businesses. Over the years, some 300 local employers were involved. Prior to the 50-year celebration, we were able to interview past and current students, staff, and businesses.
Hi, my name is Andrea Salinas. I'm a student of Tigard High School.
I'm JJ Shannon, and I was in the Tigard School District for 26 years.
So my name is Melissa Storr, and I graduated in the class of 2018 in CE2.
Amanda Larson, and I was a student in CE2.
I graduated in 2018 from CE2.
My name is Andrea Baker. At the time was Andrea Hunter.
Okay, my name is Tom Owens.
My name is Ishmael Geronimo.
Well, my position, I was a student.
And I'm the owner of GenTalk.
Counseling secretary.
Teacher in the Tigard Tualatin School District for 34 years.
I'm the Vice President of Operations at Northwest Forsyth.
I own a company called D'Angelo's Catering and Events here in Tigard, Oregon.
The Learning Manager in CE2.
Researcher.
And I taught in CE2.
Lead teacher in CE2 for quite a few years, 1994 to 2017.
We're rolling again. Anything else you want to say?
It's like a CE2, it's like a family.
We'll still be one.
My rock in that program.
CE2 may have helped them get through a rough patch.
You can't second guess a student and what their capabilities are.
What to you is CE2?
CE2 is Ohana, and Ohana is family. We know that. CE2 is a home base for a lot of kids. It's an opportunity for students to discover their pathway, and for us as learning managers and secretaries to push that student in that direction, providing them any support we can to help them graduate high school and realize their career post-secondary goals.
Well, CE2 is certainly an opportunity for young people to experience contact with employers, a variety of them if they choose to do that before they actually get out of high school.
Well, the basic concept was that students can learn in the community some very important things that schools will never be able to do in the classroom. And so while that has changed over the years, now if you listen to the news, you'll hear more and more talk these days about career and technical education, which is a similar kind of thrust that we had in the 70s, was to help kids make earlier decisions, or not choices necessarily, but explore around and find out what they would like to do someday.
So explain your experience in CE2, like good memories, like how has it shaped who you are?
It shaped me in a very good way because I've been able to see things a lot differently than I did before. I've come to learn more things about myself, more things about everybody else, just how the way the program works, how they interact with their students, how they help them out, they reach out a lot. They're really amazing and it's really great.
I believe the fact that I wasn't going to graduate and they literally stood right next to me until I finished my last subject that I was failing, which was Health 1 actually, freshman year. And my counselor came in handy too. He would pressure me the last week of graduation because all I had to do was a test. And I just liked the fact that they took it personally. And when when our parents used to come over too, I mean, my parents are Hispanic, they barely speak any English. And the fact that Tony will pull out his Spanish and communicate with my parents, I feel like that was the best from CE2, the fact that no matter the language barrier or, cultures, that we'll still be one, so.
What are your wishes for CE2 and the internship program for the future?
I just hope it continues because as we've learned now, we keep running into people off and on just somehow serendipitously that I went to CE2 and I loved it.
Well, hey, I mean, I certainly would hope that, the program continues.
So I would hope that it could continue the way it is.
I hope it continues.
Continues.
Continue.
And continue.
Continues forever.
To continue forever.
But I know there's in great hands, the program. I know there's gonna stay people here that will be such as Tony, just caring and wonderful people. Just hope this program stays. Maybe in the future I might have kids and they will wanna join CE2 as well. So let's hope they're here for it.
So my name is Andy McFarland. I was a teacher in CE2 for about 8 years, and then I went on to be the Director of Alternative Education and the Director of Equity for the district. And I can honestly say that CE2 and the experience of coming into the school district and knowing that something like that existed, first as an assistant teacher in an alternative environmental education program, seeing that something like this and a home like this existed within a high school gave me a chance to pursue education to become a teacher. I hadn't been a teacher prior, and with the open doors and the family environment and knowing that there was a non-traditional classroom experience to create was completely motivating and gave me a chance to pursue what became about a 17-year career in education. I have so many stories, so many great friends that I made. My daughters, who were just little guys when I was a teacher in the program, were babysat by people that are like family to us through those connections. I'm looking over right now at faces that I've been lucky enough to be visited by over the past couple decades. And Tigard is lucky. This is a program that's absolutely unique. There, in CE2, there exists an environment that gives a home where sometimes in the larger school settings and in this model of education that we have in our country doesn't necessarily guarantee a home for folks for various reasons. Or trauma brings on a need to be connected to educators who will sit with you and get into what motivates you and understand a bit about what you need uniquely to show up and make school work for you. So I would like to thank the folks that made this possible decades and decades ago. I feel like we got to ride in on the coattails of a lot of hard work and invention and creativity, and I wouldn't have become an educator if it hadn't been for this program, and it changed my life.
Rolling. Okay, my name is Kyle White, and I graduated in 2006, and I was a student. I was there in CE2 for I think 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And my fondest memory, probably the time that Andy and I went around in a box and scared teachers. Also, I haven't told him this yet, but he told me when I was a senior in high school that I should look into doing some kind of radiology degree. And 5 years later, I took him up on it, and that's what I do now. So I work in radiology now. So thanks to Andy and CE2, that's what I do.
My name is Frankie Flores. I graduated in 2019. Some of the experiences I had in CE2 are experiences I will never forget. I had an amazing friend group in there, and as much as we like to mess around, we did understand what we needed to do. Sometimes even picking up the trash on Highway 99 was, yeah, boring but also fun. Tony was an amazing teacher to me. He really pushed me to go far enough to graduate when I really didn't think I would. So at the end of the day, just understand teachers are here to help, and as much as they push you to be hard, it's for the better cause.
My name is Ben Jameson, and I graduated in 2008. I had Andy and Sue as our, learning managers. It was a very good experience. I had a lot of friends in there. It was very open. Did a lot of things. I worked out in the field. I did a Home Depot. I did a gym. I did a locksmith. I got to know a lot of really good people working through businesses that opened a lot of opportunities for me going down the road. So that was huge for me, and it helped me get into a job immediately after school. And some of the better moments I had in the class, the locksmith that we knew actually personally showed up with all of his baking gear. He liked to bake cookies as a side job. So he showed up one day for school, and we all didn't go to our jobs. We all stayed inside, and we baked cookies for literally the entire day, 10, 20, 30 different kinds of cookies, and we all just ate cookies. So that was probably one of my favorite memories. But yeah, 2008, CE2.
I think they work great. We know that it's an alternative learning model. We don't necessarily believe that it's for students who don't adapt well to the classroom learning environments, but that on-the-job training is something that is a skill set I think we can always use.
CE2 is Ohana, and Ohana is family. We know that. CE2 is a home base for a lot of kids. It's an opportunity for students to discover their pathway, and for us as learning managers and secretaries to push that student in that direction, providing them any support we can to help them graduate high school and realize their career post-secondary goals.
Well, CE2 is certainly an opportunity for young people to experience contact with employers, a variety of them if they choose to do that before they actually get out of high school.
CE2 is a community coming together for the education of the student, where you have the businesses, you have the parents, you have the students, you have the teachers, all working together in order to teach and make better the business community, but not just the business community, the community altogether, because students are able to learn, they're able to experience. When they leave with a pocket full of tools that they can use to their betterment for their lives.
One time at that period, the president and his Secretary of Education decided it was time to help kids learn more about careers while they were in school and not just wait to struggle when they get out and wonder, what am I going to do next? And so they had some models in mind, and one of those models was employer-based career education, where the kids would not be in school necessarily much, but out in the community and finding places to explore around what they might be interested in. And when they're working alongside these employers, finding out how they use math and English and science and social studies, art and music and all the other things we teach in the regular school are practiced every day in those environments. And so that was our model, that we had to choose somebody, a regional person or group, in this area that could try it out with us. We were asked to find the district and then develop that idea with them and then carry it on from there. So we came to Tigard. At that time, Tigard School District was known to be innovative. And I think the superintendent was Deb Fennell, that your auditorium is named for. And there were a lot of other interesting folks here that were said, let's try it. So we started it. Actually, it wasn't in the school here. It was nearby in a business area. And that was sort of symbolic of the fact that the kids would be out. So we did that. And I was in Portland at the office there, and my job was to document all that was going on in the school setting, CE2 setting, writing it all down so that someday others around the nation could try it out, following what they tried out here. So that's what some of us did in Portland. We developed handbooks that could be used by others.
Let's start out this way. Compulsory education in the state of Oregon celebrates its 100th birthday this year. CE2 celebrates its 50th birthday this year. And an alternative program to celebrate that many years and to be as successful as CE2 now is a marvel. So with the history of CE2, it's gone through adaptations, it's gone through a lot. So what do I see for the future? That really depends.
What do you hope for the future then?
Yes, it does work everywhere. In fact, our job at the laboratory later, after a few years of testing it in Tigard, it became a training center here where people would come from around the nation. About 100 school districts around the nation came here, sending teachers and others to come look at this program and then look at our handbooks that we developed and then go back home. It went, I don't know how many states it was in. I think maybe, I forget how many now, but Alaska to Hawaii to the South Pacific, to everywhere. And they all got some money from the federal government to help them to get started. And then we were there, Andrea, that you may hear from here too about that, was one of our trainers eventually after she left the staff at the high school or the CE2 setting. She went on to help train others around the country with these materials.
Absolutely. CE2 has been a model alternative program throughout the state. You can almost go anywhere in the state, and I've been a lot of different places around the state, and they realize and understand what CE2 is all about and what CE2 can offer students as far as an alternative setting. Alternative education is probably one of the most misunderstood programs throughout the whole nation. I mean, a lot of people don't understand what alternative education is and what it means. A study that I read about 20 years ago suggested that 1/3 of all students that are attending high school right now are considered alternative ed students. But a lot of those 1/3 of those students they never get recognized or never get discovered as alternative ed, and they just pretty much fall through the cracks and do the best they can with very limited resources. And so alternative ed is there, and it helps a lot of students, and it's there for students who really go unnoticed and need to have that extra little something that gives them an opportunity to be successful, and CE2 has done that.
Ninth grade wasn't, or actually from middle school going into high school, I wasn't really too into academics, and I didn't do too great ninth grade. I was probably not on the right track. I was skipping a lot of school, hanging out with friends. I was more interested in hanging out with friends in school. And it was kind of the same for 10th grade, except for halfway through my sophomore year, I kind of realized what high school was and the opportunity that I had. And so I started kind of trying to better my situation and do better in school. But I was so far behind on credits, and so that's kind of how CE2 came into that story.
It was very difficult at the beginning, joining sophomore year, because I had just transitioned into a new school. I found it difficult, to pay attention a little. It was a little difficult to figure out what way I could learn better with my classmates, with my peers, everything like that.
So I got here from Mexico my freshman year. I knew a little bit of English, didn't know much. I was struggling a lot. I failed some classes my freshman year and sophomore year due to the language barrier. Believe my counselor recommended me CE2. They said that it would be an easier way to recover my credits, and I wanted to do early college, which that also helped me a lot. I met Tony the first time, and ever since I loved the program. Tony was the guy, you know, he helped me a lot, helped me through my whole year that I was in CE2. What I liked the most was that they would go one-on-one for any, you know, homework, any questions, any essay that I had to do. They'll be there next to you. If you needed extra time, they'll be volunteering to stay after and stuff like that.
So my high school experience prior to joining CE2 was a bit rough. I moved from California maybe 3 weeks into my freshman year, and so it was a huge culture shock for me, just moving to a new state and having to meet new people and just kind of get into the environment that was already here. The only good thing about it was that I had my sister who was a sophomore and I was a freshman, so we kind of were able to like buddy up and had a few classes together, so that made me feel a little bit better. And then within time I started making friends and getting to know staff here at the high school.
So Tony Hunt is the one that approached us and asked us if we'd be willing to participate in this program, and we were super excited to do so because our whole purpose is bringing generations together, and that teenage influence hadn't been part of our program until then.
Sure. So if I remember, it's been about 3 years now since we started. I want to say we reached out to CE2. We reached out to local high schools. We were trying to partner with the community to be able to raise up talent within our company, and we found out about CE2 and learned that it was a great way to partner with the community and to bring in some kids and give them some skills that they would be able to take with them after high school and be able to apply themselves in the workforce.
So I found out about CE2 because coincidentally my sister was actually in CE2 as well, and so I saw how she was a little bit more at ease working at her like own pace and getting the support from her case manager, who was Andy as well, and then going in to talk to my counselor back then, who also brought that up as an option, and just having the insight from my sister and other friends that were part of the program made me feel like that was a great decision for me to finish my high school.
Yeah, so after trying like quite a few different methods, I tried grad point, I tried summer school, and those things didn't work out for me, and I learned it was more so of kind of sitting at a computer or having to do work at home that was not working for me. And it wasn't for the help of my teacher, Miss Van Cleek. She was, I'm sorry, not teacher, but my case manager helped me find CE2. And when I was a junior, I was able to put in my application and get started with CE2.
Yeah, I think it was junior year. I was in school and I wasn't doing too great. I was kind of trying to catch up and make sure that I was on the track for graduation. But I think it was Mrs. Alderman who actually might have brought it up to me and said, "We have this program at CE2. You can actually work for your credits out in the real world." And so that's kind of how I found out about it.
So actually I really didn't know about CE2 until it was brought up to me by my counselor, because senior year, looking at my credits, I was not in the route of graduating. So they told me about CE2 and I decided to go into it.
Well, I had already known a few people that had started in the program the year before, so I'd heard about it and I was curious. Had the opportunity my senior year to join, and even though I was a good student and was doing well, I thought I was really interested in the idea of the independence, being able to be out into the community and doing things out of a classroom environment. So that was really what piqued my curiosity.
CE2 covered a lot of interests for me. I had a master's degree in vocational education for special education students, and I also really liked working with students that were challenged and getting frustrated. I thought I could really help in that way.
Somebody I knew at the Northwest Regional Educational Laboratory, which started the program, somehow, I have no recollection how, contacted me and said, you might want to consider working in this program in Tigard. And I did, and I came out and was hired and loved every minute of it. Because it felt like I was having more of an impact than I had in the Portland Public Schools.
I never knew what to expect when I first came to CE2. This is my 30th year in alternative education. I came to CE2 with a little more than 20 years in alternative education. And in alternative education, there are so many pathways. There are so many different kinds of programs. There is so much there for students. And this was something that I knew about, and I worked on the perimeter with the people who were here. For example, Sue and JJ and a number of other people who were part of the program at the time. And then when I came in, it was a huge learning curve because now we're not just working one-on-one with the student, but we're also working one-on-one with businesses. We are trying to educate educators as well, so we're constantly moving and having to do PR. We're having to do all kinds of communication. It's a very, very dynamic position just to be an educator in CE2, and always looking for what's equitable for the student. How are we working towards reaching those learning targets for the student, not only academically, but also in the community?
Like I said before, we really enjoy having lots of generations, and we didn't have that teenage influence, so that's been super fun. And it's been what gives me the most joy is when we find one like the current intern that we have, who just loves being around the seniors and is not afraid to get up and dance with them if that's what needs to happen. So just seeing that joy for life, that's been a really nice thing.
So I think the one thing that sticks out to me is that they have encouraged me. They have shown me that there is talent that is out there, and there's a willingness to learn new things. And in a day and age where you sometimes question the type of workers that are out there, and I've seen a lot of great students come out of Tigard High School that have really shown me that they're going to make a great asset in a company. So it encourages me to know that there are kids out there that are going to be able to support the workforce that not only we need, but also that the country needs. So,
wow, I learned a lot. All the students are different. They're all great to work with, and they all bring different skill sets and sometimes challenges to the table, but we're able usually to work through those, and I can't think of any negative experiences over the last 19 years.
And that just started my relationship with CE2, and I think probably the one thing I think that I got out of it personally was just the independence and the self-awareness of being out in the community and working with people hands-on was so much different and so much a better experience for me than being in a classroom. I felt that was really limiting to my potential. So, I mean, that's probably something that I think the takeaway for me was just being able to be so much more self-aware, independent, free thinking, critical thinking. It just made me so much more fulfilled in who I was as a person rather than being stuck in a classroom all day.
It shaped me in a very good way because I've been able to see things a lot differently than I did before. I've come to learn more things about myself, more things about everybody else, just how the way the program works, how they interact with their students, how they help them out, they reach out a lot. They're really amazing and it's really great.
Yeah, well, they gave me an opportunity. They gave me an opportunity to feel like I could still catch up and do a good job in school. And so more than anything, they just gave me an opportunity and gave me a chance to go out in the real world and work hands-on and kind of develop some of the skills that I now use in my day-to-day life.
So I used to work in a restaurant already at Big Town Hero here in Tualatin. So I was kind of stuck there, so I kind of wanted to try something new, and the best way was this. I didn't really like the fact of going from job to job. It would look bad in resume, you know, having 10 jobs in 6 months. So this was the best way to try out new stuff without, you know, messing up your resume. But yeah, now I own 2 restaurants, Big Town Hero in Gresham and Vitality Bowls in Tualatin, which I believe CE2 helped me on that because it really helped me look for what I was looking for in my career. So
What I really liked is the more one-on-one time that they were able to delegate and give to you, and especially you were learning a lot more important things, such as like actually getting to go out of school as well, but learning important things at those internships. They're more, you know, life skills.
You can't second guess a student and what their capabilities are. You never know. Sometimes I'll be sitting at home and I'll get a phone call and I'll think, oh, why is this person calling me from 4 years ago? They're like, hey, it's like, what's up? And they just want to share their success with me. And, you know, just having that relationship, that to me is wonderful. I've had students, well, not I, we have had students who have gone on to do wondrous things. We have students who have a great life. They're doing very, very well. What more could somebody want? Because we're kind of a family at CE2. And what more would a parent figure, aunt, uncle, whatever you want to call us, want for those kids than for them to have a good, satisfying life where they are able to move around. They tell us their adventures, what they've learned, and there's just so much. I mean, my life is richer because of our students. And when students all of a sudden realize that they are able to graduate, because many of our students come in and they don't realize that they can graduate. And where many staff may say, I don't know what's going to happen with that student. All of a sudden, that student becomes a superstar. And those are the kids. They're the ones that aren't recognized readily, but they're the ones who become bright, shining jewels in our crown.
Well, there's so many things. Over a span of 30 years, you have a lot of experiences. Some you remember, some you don't remember. And I think the biggest thing, and I won't mention names, but I had a student that was trying to find something else that was going on in his education. The high school, the regular high school, was not working. And I was able to interview this student and found them to be a good fit for CE2. And I thought that if the student were to put forth the effort, that CE2 could be really, really a wonderful program for the student, and it turned out to be wonderful. Had some attendance problems, had other issues going on in their life, but with what CE2 had to offer, they were able to embrace that and able to make some changes in their lives to fulfill their success at CE2, and ended up graduating.
Well, the best, I think, aha moment is when you see all of the students in CE2 that were graduating each year that might not have been graduating before because of all the difficult situations in their life. It was just very fortuitous. I mean, we also used to take pictures of every single senior and put them up around the room so they could see who graduated before them. And so when you got quite a few of them up on the wall, it was great because they go, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
One of my memories is one of my students, Dave, I don't remember his last name. He was a very, very poor reader. I think he was a junior. And we had tutors available. And I kept saying, Dave, do you want to see a tutor? And he kept saying, no, 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 I don't want to see a tutor, I don't want to see a tutor. He then went to do a job shadow at an auto body shop, and he really, really wanted to work with cars when he graduated. One day, he came back to me into the Learning Center at CE2, and he said, Andrea, can I still see a tutor? I almost fell off my chair, and I said, Dave, what? Of course you can. What happened? Well, the adult in the community that he was working with at the auto body shop said, Dave, I couldn't hire you because a customer left a note in their car and you couldn't read it. So I can't hire you. That's why Dave came back. His mother probably told him he needed to see a tutor. His teacher told him. It was an adult in the community that told him, an adult who could possibly hire him. So I then began to believe the phrase, motivation to learn develops out of a relationship between two people. And I still believe that. And that's a very, very important one for me in terms of learning.
Yeah, there'd be certain milestones of when my attendance most definitely got better, and they definitely noticed that because I really did enjoy my time there, and Liz would like have me pick out a prize, you know, and we'd do that at like the end, or I don't remember if it was the beginning of each month, something like that, and I remember that. I also remember when it was Sue's birthday and Liz let me make her favorite cake. We did like a chocolate cake and she really liked mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I got to help throw the streamers over like the lights and everything, so we made a whole party and everything. It was really nice to be a part of something like that.
I believe the fact that I wasn't gonna graduate and they literally stood right next to me until I finished my last subject that I was failing, which was Health 1 actually, freshman year. And my counselor came in handy too. He would pressure me the last week of graduation, because all I had to do was a test. And I just liked the fact that they took it personally. And when there was, when our parents used to come over too, I mean, my parents are Hispanic, they barely speak any English. And the fact that Tony will pull out his Spanish and communicate with my parents, I feel like that was the best from CE2. The fact that no matter the language barrier or, you know, cultures, that we'll still be one, so.
Mine was at Hiller's with Miss Nancy. She was really amazing. Yeah, she was great. It was an embroidery shop, and I would like help her out once big projects like up to 70-something jackets. I would clean those up. I would pack them up with their due paperwork, and it was just like a lot of cleaning too, so it was good.
So I worked with KinderCare, and I actually went to them for both times that I could choose a project or a job to go to, because I was so excited about working there. I got to be an assistant for the 3- and 4-year-olds, and they were absolutely amazing. Just the cutest little kids. So I went back there every time.
My favorite internship was Durham Elementary. I was helping in a 2nd grade class, and actually when I started here, there was a student who I connected with and was always helping him, and so I got to see him graduate last year actually, so it was like super cool that he somehow remembered me, and just making those connections with those students was my favorite part.
Well, I mean, when I went to this woodworking shop, I still remember the name. It was called Dovetail was the name, and the guy's name was Bill. I don't remember his last name, but you just could tell the minute you went in and met him and shook his hand that he was a character. I mean, he had a really great personality, really relaxed, very welcoming to me, and I just remember, you know, it was like he just like invited me right into this woodworking shop. I mean, here these guys are doing like custom woodworking. It was really, really well done, finely crafted woodwork, and man, they just had me right in there and started showing me what to do, sanding, and I mean, granted, they're not gonna let somebody off the street just do something for a job they're working on, but I mean, that was the thing about the exploration. It was really, you got to be hands-on. They showed you what it was like to be in that working environment. And I think for me personally, I just really excelled at that. I really enjoyed the hands-on part.
I hope CE2 continues forever. I think it's a great program, and it's a huge benchmark that this program's been instigated here in Tigard, Oregon, and that it's 50 years old.
I hope it continues. I think it's really great for kids to get an opportunity to try out different jobs and see what fits for them, or, everybody needs to go on a search, and it's great to start in high school.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it progress and continue. I think it's a great thing that they offer for everybody, because I don't think everybody doesn't follow the same track, and so I feel like it's just a really good opportunity for students, and it would be an awful thing if it went away. So I hope to see it progress and stick around for many years to come.
I wish CE2 grows, gets more students, and that it gets acknowledged by everybody. It's an amazing program. I think it may not fit everybody, but if you just give it a chance, I think you'll come to love it.
Unfortunately, it seems like every year alternative programs get put under the microscope as to what their purpose is and why we still need them around. And my wish for CE2 is that it will continue on for another 50 years and beyond. This is a place where students can land, feel successful, feel noticed, get the things and the help that they need that they never had before. And I just think that CE2 is there for this purpose. It needs to be strong. It needs to be considered every single year. It needs to be brought back, and it needs to be strengthened because, again, it's a place where students can feel successful and feel good about themselves.
Well, the CE2 program has, over the years, has endured a lot of, do we really need this? Is this something we really have to do? And there were several programs throughout the state when it first started. And this program is still in its original form. There's several that exist around the state that have morphed into something else. And so I really do think this particular venue and how it's developed and how it has started is so good, and I would hope that it could maintain it in that particular form, because many programs, when they begin, are very dependent on the teachers that come into the program to make them what they are. This particular program, it's the format, and so many teachers can step into it, even though they do give their own, personality to that it doesn't have to be fiddled with. It doesn't have to be changed. With maybe some curriculum has to be different a little bit, but basically the program is rock solid, and how it was developed all those years ago. It's really pretty incredible that it's happened. So I would hope that it could continue the way it is, and keep helping kids.
Well, I know with COVID we had changes in CE2 probably that I don't even know about. But I really hope that the program continues, because there are a lot of students that, I'll just say that I get, I don't want to say tackled, but I get hugged from behind at Home Depot, or my UPS driver is one of my ex-students. I see ex-students all the time that are very successful in their lives, and I just am so glad that CE2 may have helped them get through a rough patch. They got their diploma, but they also got a resume from going out to those internships that I hope helped instill their confidence to continue their life and be successful in the world. And I'm really glad that CE2 does that, and I hope it continues to do that.
Just that we wish the program much success. We appreciate the relationship that's been built over these years, and we can hope to continue it for many years to come.
We just appreciate all the students that have come through and appreciate Tony and the rest of the staff. It's been a great partnership.
Sue McGee, she was one of the teachers that I worked closely with in CE2. And so as far as like a particular story, I don't have one particular, but I can say that I definitely remember her always being just so caring, so welcoming and encouraging. And so her and the program, I give a lot of thanks to them for helping me be successful.
We'll definitely miss Tony. I know he's retiring this year, but I know there's in great hands the program. I know there's gonna stay people here that will be such as Tony, just caring and wonderful people. Just hope this program stays. Maybe in the future I might have kids and they will wanna join CE2 as well. So let's hope they're here for it.
I would like to thank Andrea Baker, Tom Owen, Larry McClure for helping me in teaching me even more. And what people don't realize is that Andrea and I go back 30 years from when I first started in alternative ed in another program over in North Portland, and she was on our board. And then I bumped into her again when she used to come into Tigard High School to teach professional development. And then she came in for a small gathering of the CE2 founders, and she and I looked at each other and it's like, how do we keep bumping into each other? So I want to thank Sue McGee, everybody who's participated in CE2, thank you.